All right, everyone, we're back.
Yeah, we are.
We
And
are.
we are back for a very
Yep.
special episode where we are going to give our thoughts on both the movie Chris watched as well as the comedy special. I'm going to go ahead and put that in quotes that I watched. Chris, you watched Gaspar Noé's Irreversible, and I watched Adam Hunter's UFC Fight Pass comedy special, Throwing Punches.
You talking
And
about comedy, B?
allegedly, we are. And we've been teasing this for a while, and I'm excited to finally get it going. So I'm going to go ahead and spark this joint of some. Here. Packaging still. Oh, God. Some Sessions Chem Reserve. Ooh, there we go. It is real good. I think it's around 30%. Some outdoor, mostly made for rolling. And so that's what I did with it. And we are going to get into this. I'm pretty excited about it. So I guess we should probably start with the thing you watched for the first time, which we have been kind of joking about and talking about on this show for a very long time. It's the reason why the first thing in this title of this video is Time Ruins Everything. You finally watched the Gaspar Noé masterpiece that is Irreversible.
Yeah. So,
First off,
I
I'd
know.
like to first off say you started by texting me, wait, is this movie in French?
Yes, French filmmaker. I wasn't sure if it was just like a dub, like over, like the actual acting, but
Uh,
yes, it is very much in French, and I was able to watch it with the English subtitles because otherwise it wouldn't have been as good of a movie. I'll say right now.
it would be
It's
hard to
definitely
follow. It's very
It's
dialogue
definitely
heavy.
this is definitely not a bad film, um, and there's a lot of creative elements that went into it that I think made it a lot more impactful, especially after you're done watching the film.
It
I
sits with you for a while, doesn't it?
Yeah, there are parts, of course, that are very difficult to watch. At no point, however, during my viewing did I feel the need to turn it off. I definitely
How
was like,
confused
okay,
were you when you saw the director fisting him, getting fisted like 2 or 3 minutes in? You know that was him, right? In
that
that
was him, right?
intro
Where he's like, "I want
sequence.
you to fist me. I want you to." Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
in the
Yeah, yeah,
intro
yeah.
sequence, that was him. That
Yeah,
was the director.
I remember that was him only because I saw a trivia bit and it showed what the director wanted to do. There was some, and yes, there is a shit ton of homophobia in this film.
Homophobia and just homosexual acts,
Yes,
both.
but I think the trivia I saw was that the director Gaspar Noé, I think it's Noé or no,
It's no.
no, Gaspar Noé was accused, I believe, of being a very big bigot or homophobe, and he's like, "Oh, I'll show them. Like I'll just play this part. I'm totally not a homophobe or something like that." I know that's not like it's not you can't prove that or anything, but I'm pretty sure it was along the lines of
Yeah, he's all also yeah. I've intentionally not looked into him too much outside of his films because
so.
just based on films alone, I'm guessing he's problematic.
Yeah, and the other part of the film, so the part that is definitely jarring, and I see why people got up. And I remember I saw a trivia bit. It's like, oh, when they had this at a film festival, people started leaving 10 minutes in. It's like, well, yeah,
The
'cause
fire
camera-
extinguisher.
Well, no, not that. That part didn't bother me that much because I've already
Dude.
seen that in movies, like
But it's
violence.
it's so brutal with the still shot on the floor of just the
Oh
camera
yeah, no,
sitting
it's
there.
gnarly. I was like, wow, I haven't seen something like that, and I'm trying to remember another movie that showed that. I can't remember, but I've seen something like that before, so I was just like, oh, that's pretty gnarly. I wasn't like grossed out. Maybe it's
Yeah.
just.
No, it definitely was
am.
like
Um,
it was really it's
I'll
a
say this,
beautiful
if you
shot
haven't
too.
seen violence like that in a film, yes, that's gonna
It will
bother
get
you.
you, yeah. I literally kind of don't think about fire extinguishers the same way after. I'll put it that way.
So, but the part I could see that, and I'm glad I don't have vertigo or epilepsy because the beginning of the film,
And the end,
it's just and the end is just the constant swirling
the
of
siren, yeah,
and then
the
like
swirling.
like the sound. I was just like the whole time like this is annoying. I'm still watching. I'm like this is annoying.
Well, inevitably that sound is intentionally made because it's supposed to be a vibration that makes people uncomfortable when they hear it,
Yeah.
and it
So,
makes you
to be
it gives
fair,
you a weird feeling
I
both
think
at the beginning
throughout
and
the
end.
viewing of the movie, I had about 5 beers, smoked quite a bit. I was pretty sober when I started it, and then I'd pause to get a beer, and I just kept drinking. I'm like, all right. I'm like, this film's getting interesting. And then, of course, there's the very graphic, I think it's about like
The
six,
hallway scene,
the hallway scene.
it's so
Uh,
long. Doesn't it feel like
yeah,
it never ends?
no one. I hope to whatever the fuck there is any sort of higher power, if there even is one, that no one enjoys that scene, because then you're an actual piece of shit.
Yeah, no, it's
Um,
so fucking
it's
rough.
tough. And but it's important. I'm not saying it's important because it's
Plot
happening.
wise, though, yeah, no, it's
It's
so.
important,
Yeah.
but it really shows. I know the theme is vengeance. There's the two, I think, bouncers or kind of gangster kind of guys or fixer guys are like, oh, you want revenge? Don't be a pussy. You need to get vengeance. It's all about vengeance. Yada yada yada. The
Yeah, and I don't
themes,
want to spoil too much of it either,
yeah, the
but
themes I took away from it were it explored lots of themes of the sexuality of women, sexual freedom, curiosities, empowerment of women, and like their relationships with men, and
well, and the
how
opposite of that,
and the opposite of that,
yeah,
the manipulation of women, the you know
objectification and all that
yeah,
stuff too.
objectification, women as objects. Uh, yeah, it's a powerful film for sure. The one thing, fuck, I don't know if I could say this because it would spoil the movie, but the way the film is sequenced, like
Right, the Memento-esque
I'll say this: the
kind
way
of
it's
style, yeah.
it's chronicled or chronologized. That's not a word. It's
The order in which the events are portrayed in.
the order of, yeah, exactly, of how the film goes. That's what makes it that much more. If it went the other way, then I could see. Oh my goodness, this is fucking difficult to watch.
Yeah, well,
It's just the way how, if you juxtapose how or contrast how it just, here's how it begins, here's how it ends.
I think
Yeah,
it's such
not,
a
yeah.
yeah, I think it's such a stronger story in the way it's laid
It is.
out because that last scene hits so hard when you're like, oh no, look at that last scene. You're just like, oh, I don't know. No one should feel good. Everyone should feel
Yeah.
bad
So
about everything. Time does ruin everything. And yeah, that you now understand why I reference that line a lot is because man, does it hit hard in that shit. Like they say, it's one of
yeah.
the first things they say in that movie, and it's the very last thing I came away with, which is like, fuck.
There's that, and there's the part. I mean, you won't know unless you've seen it, where the main lead, Marcus, he goes, "My arm is numb." Well, based on the sequence, there's a lot of foreshadowing with why his arm is
Yeah.
numb. So there was a lot of good. It was good filmmaking, and a lot of that part. A lot of what the movie just kind of expressed.
Well, and you can
I
see now why I refer to it as like a better Memento. Like, because I saw that before I saw Memento, and I was like, oh fuck Memento.
And I have, and so my final just quick review, spoiler free review, or almost spoiler free reviews. Out of 10, I don't do like a 5-star. I just do a straight like scale of 10 or like a
Sure.
letter grade. I'll give it a letter grade. I would give this film, I'd probably say like a B minus, because there were some parts it was a little choppy or kind of unorganized.
Well, and
Um,
he definitely
that's mostly if you just
intentionally.
yeah.
It's kind of
That's
his films, like his style is very aggressive.
yeah.
Tries to make you feel weird and uncomfortable with his shot
I'd give it a B
selection.
minus.
I-
It's a passing grade. It's not a bad film
Yeah.
by any means.
See,
It's
for
a film
me, yeah,
gonna make you question a lot of things if you've seen them or not, and you know, it's an important. I think it's not mandatory if you're a cinephile or a movie watcher. You don't have to watch this film.
and it's gonna be hard on a lot of people.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the last film I watched that was this realistically brutal that wasn't a horror film. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Right,
Because
that, like,
horror-
was just
you
more of a
watch- you already
drama.
expect crazy, gory shit.
Right, this is just like a
watch any of the
story.
Saw films or Hostel, that's torture porn. They're designed to gross you out.
Maybe like
This one-
Drive
Yeah, I've seen Drive.
kind
Love
of
that
has
movie.
it kind of has that kind of violence where it's like violence within plot that like, but like very graphic violence within plot. Just for
Three.
lack of a better, yeah, but that's like
Martial
kind of a different feel though.
But it's
Drive has
style.
like, yeah,
It's all it's martial arts
yeah.
with gore.
Whereas some of the gore in this is like that, dude. That fucking fire extinguisher scene when I first saw it, I
Yeah,
was like, ooh. Ugh. Also, just the whole way that whole scene is shot. All the
all this-
long uncut shots too are so beautiful with like I mean, horrifyingly beautiful, but like just these long, again, comparing to the Raid, these long uncut sequences of like going all the way in through the club and falling and not cutting the camera once, or like the hallway scene. Like, the hallway scenes, there's no cuts in that hallway scene. It's one shot. It's so brutal.
And I will say one thing without spoiling it. Once you realize how the sequence of events in the film, you definitely already rewind the movie is what I'll say.
Yeah.
You go, oh my god.
Oh, this was happening and this was happening and this was happening. Yeah.
That's the certain that unfortunately this I can't say it, but you're like, God fucking damn it.
Yeah. 100%.
And then you just get sadder. Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to say I enjoyed the film because the film wasn't.
It's not enjoyable.
Yeah,
it's not lighthearted viewing at all.
Yeah, no, but it wasn't a bad film at all.
No, it's honestly for me. If I was to give it a grade, I'm in the A- range just because some of it does get very like just like visually rough to sit through. Like if you're all nauseous, it'll fuck with you. But God damn it,
epilepsy, please do not watch the film first and foremost. Since
there's a huge content warning around this, and that's why I made sure to talk about. I always talk about it with like a huge content warning on top of it. But goddamn it, is it a lot of fun? And well, not fun, but goddamn it, is it like it's something unlike anything else? And I enjoy the fuck out of that. So anyway, I guess we should move on to the thing I got to sit through. Yeah,
glad you recommended it, but thank you for recommending it. And,
and shouts out to Dan Tom as well as Phil from the Fight Site and a lot of the Fight Site guys, honestly, Kyle and a couple others as well for always. This is like, I don't know why. I think Anderson Cowan's fault is the reason why we all talk about this movie, or at least I know it's why Dan Tom and I talk about it a lot. It's because it comes up a lot around the film ball back in the day. And it was like, I don't know, there was an era of MMA or of films in general and film podcasts that it was a very weird time, especially with all the Gaspar Noé stuff. So I saw Enter the Void once a long time ago, but I was really fucked up when I saw it, so I don't remember it that much. So I may have to go back and watch that at some point because it's been a long time. So maybe I'll do that. But anyway, we will segue into Chris. I am about to talk about how Fightpass makes everything worse. Oh boy.
I am sorry you had to watch this.
Dude, honestly, to be fair to Adam, it gets so much better after the 15-minute mark.
Okay.
Well, that's not true. I lied. It gets mildly better after the 20-minute mark. Because he starts like clearly they're like, hey, do 15 to 20 on MMA and then you can do the rest of your set. So like the all the rough stuff that we heard where he's clearly just like forcing MMA jokes, that was all early on. And then he just transitions to like his normal like, here's my jokes about my wife set. That being said, the amount of street jokes, man, like they're not MMA jokes. They're street jokes that he shoved an MMA name into.
So Mike Perry half the time and John Jones?
It's worse than that, dude. Here are my notes. I'll just read them as I wrote them. He acknowledges Alex Nicholson in the crowd, which not a great sign since this was recorded in 2020 during COVID. So I don't know why Alex Nicholson would be allowed in a UFC building in 2020. After he was cut from the UFC for literally yelling racist shit in the corner of Mike Perry. Also in the crowd, Mike Perry with his pregnant-ass girlfriend.
Yep.
And then here are some... I just wrote down jokes that I felt that stood out. Let's put it that way. Here's a joke. Adam's daughter was born 2 weeks late, so he thought she might be black. Here's another joke. The hottest gilfs are Mexican because they're 26.
I think yeah.
So what I mean by street jokes? I mean, to be fair, he does have some almost okay shop jokes about how, I mean, basically he did my joke about how Dana White beats off at pictures of Dana White. or Dana White sucks his own dick. Like, he basically did the same jokes about Brendan Schaub, which is, I mean, whatever, that's fine. Here's another joke, though. Here's what I mean about he just shoves MMA into the premise, and I'll explain afterwards why. He goes, how good is Weili Zhang? Chinese people haven't been this excited since advanced calculus. You could do that with literally any Chinese name, by the way. It doesn't have to be Weili Zhang. It could be any Chinese name ever. Like, name a Chinese person, Chris. How about this? How crazy is Mao? People haven't been this excited.
I was gonna say, yeah,
since Mao. Chinese people haven't been this excited since Van.
Or the current dictator, Chi. I never know his last name, so I just call him Winnie the Pooh.
I was gonna say, how do you like Winnie the Pooh, Chris? Chinese people haven't been this excited since advanced calculus. It's a horrible, horrible plug-in straight joke. Like, it's bad. Okay, here's an example of an almost okay joke, though. Because I didn't want to just be all dunking on Adam for how weak these are. He did have a joke that says, Anthony Johnson started a marijuana dispensary. I guess the weed hits you hard, but only lasts for 5 minutes.
That's
an okay joke. Like, that's
actually pretty. That's
yeah, it's pretty clever. Yeah, so like after the MMA stuff, it gets slightly better because it's actually like material he's worked out. But also, he does the old, what I'm not even going to describe, and you guys can imagine what it would be if you know this person. But he does the old red band Spider-Man bit on the curtains. I'll just throw those combination of words out there, and those who know. But like, that is, let's just say, not only is that an old joke, if Red Band did the joke you're doing, that's not a great sign. So I don't know. I will say though, once again, Fightpass had about 30 people in the crowd, 30 to 40 people, which is already going to make a terrible comedy show. They also are spread out, which is going to make a terrible comedy show. And then they didn't sweeten it in post, so it makes for a terrible comedy show. Like, Fightpass did Adam no favors. Also, the ceiling on that room looked pretty fucking big for there being that little people in there. And so I think Fightpass probably forced a 15 to 20 minute MMA joke section and a bad setup onto Adam Hunter and set him up for one of the most awkward specials I'd seen in a while. And so I don't even blame necessarily Matt Hunter's street jokes on it as much as, because a lot of the street jokes are like where he's just trying to literally stuff fucking MMA names into bad jokes because he wrote them in 20 minutes or whatever. Or he's like reading jokes he wrote on Twitter a while ago. Or it's like, I think they just kind of forced him in a fucked up position. So I'm not even going to put it that much on Adam Hunter. But that being said, not great.
Yeah. Who was it? I think, of course, Kyle, my brother, who is very masochistic when it comes to watching
your brother
content.
loves trash. Let's be fair.
Yeah.
Your brother loves the trashiest shit. I love it.
Like, remember we did the
your brother's one of your
Blood and Bone.
I was gonna say one of your brother's favorite movies is Blood and Bone.
Yeah, and then there was the one movie we watched with him though, and he's like, "This is really bad." Fuck, remember?
It was probably one of the Never Back Downs.
God, I'll have to, dude. Remember we had fuck. It wasn't the Kung Lee one. It was another one.
God. Oh yeah, it wasn't Rich Franklin, but it was something like that. It was something like Cyborg Soldier.
Oh no, it was with Billy Blanks. Remember, like the boxer-sized guy? He's a martial.
Yeah.
And he's a janitor at the school.
Oh.
You remember that? And Karen watched it too.
Whoa, yeah. I don't even know if we put that one out, did we? I think we did.
I think we did, yeah. I just remember those with Billy Blanks. I remember Kyle's like, "Yeah, this is fucking stupid."
Checks out.
So there's a couple where he's like, "All right, yeah, you got me,"
100%. Oh.
But yeah, because I think he mentioned I told him like, "Dude, yeah, there's this comedy special that Adam Hunter did," and I'm like, "Adam Hunter, does a podcast, that I like him, it roasted him."
His
like,
podcast is way better than his special.
But his special's not good, and I think Kyle's like, "I'm down to check that out." I'm like, "No, you're not." So.
Yeah. That is definitely rough. So I guess we'll go and wrap this here. We will be back this week. Finally back to regular format. I'm going to get this shit posted. I'll probably tweet out winter stuff again. I feel like everybody likes when we do that. Like, I feel like every year people get hyped about that. I feel fucking cheesy doing it, but I think that's because I fucking hate myself and hate self-promotion. Because if you guys can't tell, I'm terrible at it, and I just fucking neg all of our own content as I put it out, because that's how I am.
I think it's good though because it you tag the podcast that you're promoting.
Well, and it just gets
eyeballs.
them, yeah, it gets them eyeballs. Is why I like doing it. So yeah, I will be tweeting that out, and when I do that, I always try and tweet out a link to their RSS feed or their website or whatever. So we'll be sending all those out probably tomorrow-ish after I get this posted, or Tuesday, something like that, since we're recording this Sunday night. But cheers to everybody, and we cannot wait to talk more MMA podcasts coming up here on probably Friday or so. Is probably when we go live for that, right?
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, until then, everybody, go listen to a bunch of cool podcasts. Believe You Me has an episode with GSP out. Dan Tom has a top 5 with Connor Rebush. Those are the first 2 on my list. Also, if you guys go to our YouTube channel where you're watching this, if you look in the playlists, every single week I make a playlist for the podcast I'm listening to or I've queued up for throughout the week. So if you're ever looking for stuff to look for, probably a better way to phrase that. If you're looking for podcasts to listen to or content, we have those, and I try and keep those up to date as I'm listening to stuff throughout the week. And I always fully update them when I go through and do the actual release and everything. So check that out. And Chris, you got anything else before we get out of here?
I love your T-shirt. I just finally noticed from They Live.
Oh,
yeah. John Carpenter did that, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, he also did,
Roddy Piper.
Yeah, The Thing is also his movie he's known for, and many other classic horror stuff. So, go watch that movie.
Yeah, go watch They Live.
Roddy Piper and Keith David. It's
a blast. It's a fucking blast. Yeah, I absolutely recommend it. So go do that. And until next time, everybody, time ruins everything. We'll see you.